It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Texas Tennessee podcast. Tonight, we are Steveless, but we have an awesome guest, Mr. Spooky Fox. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about you?
Man, I'm doing good, doing good. It was the weather's getting a lot better here, so that my work days are a lot less draining in the construction world. So
Oh man, I don't do construction, but I work on vehicles, and that's outside because I'm one of those shade tree mechanics. And yeah, this time of year the shade trees are pretty much burnt out, and it's so I get you. I get you.
I got you, and I saw you nodding there. I'm always interested in what the guests we bring on that where they recognize that Lucero song. So I saw
Yeah,
you
man.
nodding your head to that. So you're clearly you know about some Lucero.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, one of these days we'll get Ben or Brian on the pod. So I've been working on that for a bit, but local legends, Lucero. So a huge fan, being from the Memphis area. But
Yeah,
um, so just take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about who Spooky Fox is.
yeah. So I'm a singer songwriter from Monticello, Kentucky, over here in South Central Kentucky. Um, I it's hard to describe my music, I guess. And I'm sure a lot of people say that because a lot of other people could probably describe my music for me a lot better than I can. But I like music. Um, I don't set out to write anything in any sort of particular genre. I guess most of what I write could be described as Americana, but that's just kind of a pigeonholed like
Hmm.
group whenever someone can't come up with a name for the type of music someone plays. So I guess Americana, but like I love the blues, I love country, anything and everything in between. So um, I've been playing that for quite a while, and just trying to get music out there that people like, and hopefully they enjoy it and keep listening to it, and gives me a reason to keep making it.
Well, you definitely come across my social media platforms with we'll talk about the festivals and stuff
Yeah,
later, but I'm pretty sure it was some Laurel Cove
yeah,
videos that some Jolene covers and some originals and things like that. So
yeah.
and seemed to get a pretty good reaction in those videos. So that's always cool to see.
Absolutely, man. And that was such a fun festival, man. John Grace and all those people out that way are just lovely, and they put on a great festival. And you can tell they care about what they're doing and the music
Mm.
and the experience part of it, which means a lot from an artist side and from seeing how festivals are run. So
Yeah, I haven't had the privilege of making it up there to that one yet, but it's definitely on the bucket list to experience that. Sometimes festivals are hard when you tell people, or at least I tell people, I'm going to a festival.
yeah,
Um, it's I mean, I've spent many years going to the local Memphis and May festivals where it's a hell of a lineup, but um, way too overcrowded,
oh yeah,
and it sucks the fun right out of it. But then you go to festivals like what I hear about Laurel Cove and what I've
yeah,
experienced myself at North Springs. That's a different. That's a total different vibe. I mean, and there's probably a lot more festivals that are that way. I just haven't experienced or talked to anybody about them. But
yeah.
we like to talk about those kinds of festivals, those mom and pop festivals, because of uh, the reasons what you're talking about. It's the people on stage, but also the people off stage as well.
Yeah, yeah, and it's one of those things like I haven't been to like a huge festival before, but
Hmm.
I can think I've seen. I hate saying that, but like I've
It's
seen
okay.
pictures and videos and stuff like that of like Real Bird and like Forecastle, Bonnaroo and stuff like that, and they great lineups, man. Like I'd love to watch Tyler Childers from like 300 feet away or whatever on a big screen while he's on the stage. That sounds great and pay $300, but like I and there's a whole realm of people out there that would rather go to a Laurel Cove, Master Musicians Festival, a Manchester Music Festival, or a North Spring Festival, and see a curated lineup by people that love music that are not trying to find someone that's already played 300 festivals. and another one. They're trying to find the person that's fixing to blow up, is that they believe in, that's fixing to catch that fire, that
The red clay
might see him.
strays,
Right, yeah, like the Creekers, or like you got Jordan Lee
they are
King.
definitely
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
They're, I mean, and that's the thing, is like those guys knew about them for a while, and they
Mhm.
knew to have them. And I guarantee you, next year, I mean, they signed with WME. You you're not going to be able to afford them. They're going to be a $50,000 band, and they had them. I mean, I'm not going to try to guess what they paid them, but
Right, right, right.
probably what they would pay any other artist on that lineup, because they went after, they did the homework, they tried to find these people, and
Well,
that's what I enjoy.
Manchester's coming up towards the end of August, right? And they're uh, I mean, most people are just glad to be on the lineup. I'm not trying to say this in any kind of bad way, but
Yeah,
they're on the bottom half of the card, and now look at what you know.
yeah. Look at Bill
Now look,
Taylor.
from the time that lineup was put together to now, things are changing pretty
Yeah.
fast for the Creekers, and that's great.
Well, you got Bill Taylor. He's also on that lineup, if
Yes,
I'm not mistaken. And I
you're right.
want to say, I'm not saying I'm anybody or nobody, but like they're playing at the same time. I think the day before or after, they're playing at 3:30. I think that Saturday, and I play 3:30 that Friday. And it's like, because Tim booked them probably this time last year.
Right, right,
He's like, "Hey, you
right.
guys want to play Manchester Music Festival?" They're like, "Yeah, sure. We'll just get out there and play." And now they're, well, America's Got Talent are blowing up. But
Uh-huh.
that's Tim Parks does his homework. John Grace is Tiffany Finley at Master Musicians Festival. They do their homework and go out there and try to find these people and try to find talent rather than try to just book
Get a
bands that are
name.
already got a draw. They're taking those chances.
Well, speaking of Manchester, Brent Cobb has been on the pod, and like he was one of, I don't know, maybe my second or third in person interview, and he's just the coolest. I mean, he's one
Yeah,
of the coolest cats in the room. He's awkward. He's a goof, but
he's so damn
so am
good.
I. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're different, but we're both awkward and goofballs. So it's just just for him to be himself is he was the same goofy person when he was talking to me as he was on stage in front of everyone. So that's
Yeah.
you gotta it makes you like folks even more. So
Yeah, it counts for a lot, and it's hard for people that play music not to get up there and change, because you start thinking of when, and you've probably done the same thing. You get on that stage, you start thinking, well, what would Jimi Hendrix do? What would he like? And you start trying to get into a persona, and that's fun. But like people just they want you to be yourself, and if you can be yourself, that's a persona in itself.
and and I saw firsthand as far as the being nervous to talk to people and all those things as far as on stage. And we all struggle.
Oh yeah,
The we've talked about this on the last podcast. Actually, the BS in between songs is more difficult than the actual songs. And trying
yeah.
not to be corny or but be engaging and all those different things. That's the
Oh yeah, and it's something that almost has to come natural at the same time. Like it's so hard to, like, you think of a perfect joke and then you go up there to tell it and you're like you're stumbling through it because you're like, are they gonna laugh at me or the joker at all? The last thing a musician wants on a stage is crickets, especially when you tell a joke. Like I'd rather no one clap after I play a song, but if I tell the greatest anecdote ever and no one laughs, I'm probably just gonna get off stage.
just jump into Tennessee whiskey or something and pull them right
Yeah,
back in.
wagon wheel and just
uh,
get really kicked out.
yeah. Like I don't ever play that song, but I'm about to now.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Y'all want to hear Wagon Wheel?
it's right. Um, we're about to get y'all right back in the fold.
Yeah,
Well, speaking of those cover songs, when
yeah.
you were, how long have you been playing music? I guess, and then when did starting to write originals creep in?
I've been playing music. I'm not gonna say how long because it'll kind of age me, but it's
Okay.
been a while. It's been about 2 decades since I was little, and I, sometime after that, I started writing songs. They were probably pretty stupid, but
Understand.
I've got a little bit better since then. It's not progressed a lot, but it's got a little better. I guess the older I've gotten, the more in tune I've gotten with songwriting, and the more I've enjoyed the songwriting aspect of it. I came into playing guitar, wanting to be Jimmy Page, wanting to be Jimi Hendrix, like wanting to play like Eric Clapton or John Mayer. And then the older I've gotten, the more I've thought, I want to write songs like Willie Nelson. I want to write like John Prine or Randy Newman. You get to, there's a mystique behind being able to put words together that actually make sense and also rhyme. And you can also throw a melody behind and make a full song out of while telling a story. That's just, it's, it's a harder thing to do than anybody can play guitar. There's 5 billion guitar players out there. There's not a lot of good songwriters.
Well, I struggle with all those things, but I'm amazed at the fact of how many people start off kind of listening to and playing guitar in that other world of music, and you
Yeah.
probably still listen to it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But as far as what you try to do and what becomes kind of home base is different. Like we've talked to so many people that had like J.D. Graham, for example, thrash bands
Yeah.
and things like that originally, and now look at what the music that he makes. It's crazy the way things. I mean, of course, we all listen to all different kinds of music, but it's crazy how when you're young, you're into one thing, and then as you get older, it starts to
And it's a
change.
natural progression too. Like it's so we
Hmm.
were just saying, like it's not like you go back to yourself, 20 years ago and explain that, and it sounds like something otherworldly, but like if you start looking through the years, like it's just naturally like you take Billy Strings, who used to play metal and has progressed into uh, you know, bluegrass, and it makes sense. You take folks like Jesse Wells, which is from out almost towards your way out in Arkansas, and he went from playing punk music to writing folk songs. Natural progression, if you think about it. I mean,
Hmm.
punk songs are basically folk songs that have got some metal behind them and some thrash guitar. Like a lot of it just makes sense, but it is weird how that happens.
Hmm. Yeah, and sometimes it's not really you think it would be an older age thing, but it's not necessarily just a little bit everybody's got a different time period of when they find it. But I told
Yeah,
you sometimes we get these comments on YouTube and things like that in real time. So
nice.
uh, somebody actually did comment and said, "Spooky Fox is what you get when you throw together Dan Auerbach, Culture Wall, and Woody Guthrie."
Oh, I like it. I
Uh huh.
like it. Dan
That's
Auerbach's my guy, man. Like it's if anyone asked me who I wanted to be when I grow up, it'd probably be Dan Auerbach.
playing the music that they play in the Black Keys and then having a record label getting to put out music like Kendall Marvel. I mean, that seems
Yeah,
like a
man.
pretty.
I mean, you got Nat Myers is also on that label. Jeremy
Mhm.
Albino. I mean, like they've got dozens and dozens of great talent. And but yeah, I mean Woody Guthrie, hell yeah. Culture Wall, I I need to start smoking to get that low, but
Yeah,
I could see that. I think
it's,
he does. Didn't he at one point in time play like a suitcase or something or some sort of foot percussion? Or am I
he
making that
he
up?
did he had at
Like
one point in
very
time
early on.
he had a kick for sure
Yeah, that's what it was.
earlier on.
Yeah.
But so did you ever do the cover band thing? No,
No, I mean,
you were always into it, putting your own thing out there first.
yeah. Um, we probably all did cover bands in a sense.
Understand?
I was in a band early on, and so you get a lot of those like 3 and 4 hour shows, and like
Right.
it seems like after the pandemic, it's not a big thing anymore. But like a lot of those shows, yeah, like it was a lot of covers, but wanting to throw in original stuff that we wrote and put together, and sneak it in there, and hope to God that someone thought, "Huh, is that a CCR song that I haven't heard or something?"
Okay.
But yeah, it's not a cover band, but I think yeah, we've all done it in a sense.
Hmm. I got you. But so the goal was always the original music.
Yeah, yeah. The whole goal was to play those 3 4 hour gigs to go into a studio and record songs that we put together, and then realize how hard it is to record music when you're in your 20s and don't know what you're doing.
I've never been on that side of anything, but I can only imagine. And then
Oh,
having to release that out into the world, and I get anxious just listening to other people's stories about that, nevertheless having to go through it myself. But
Yeah.
so so one of the questions that we ask, usually this is Steve's thing here, but it's called the pie question. All right,
All right.
and you have a musical pie divided up into four sections. All right, so you got songwriting, performance, studio, and then the business that everyone loves, right? Which of those four slices of pie is home first to you?
It's got to be the songwriting, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the studio all the way up to the point that I get there and knock on the door and walk in. And then I've got the anxious poops. I've got to go to got to find their facilities and like, and then nothing sounds like it sounds in your head. And then you start gaslighting yourself and you don't know what you're hearing in your head. Because when it comes out of those speakers, it doesn't sound like, what's up here. And it never will. But
Mm.
that part's scary. And the business, I think, I just go ahead and say, screw the business.
Right, right. So, which of those four slices do you end up spending the most of your time? Home is
Unfortunately,
songwriting, but which one do you actually have to spend the
unfortunately,
most with?
not the songwriting. That's the worst part. That's actually a pretty good question because, yeah, unfortunately, not the songwriting. I would probably have to say the right now, especially like putting singles out and stuff. I've got to say the business part,
Mm.
and that's the part that's a piece of pie that like they left like a they got like Granny's apple tree started falling down, and they got some of the apples on the wrong side of the tree, and that's the one that made it in that slice of pie, and they're all mushy, like they're a
Uh-huh.
little bit too sweet, but they're
Look,
bitter too at the same time.
little
Yeah,
moldy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What about your as far as I'm saying this because I don't know, but as far as your team was, um, part of the thing we like to do on the podcast is highlight the fact that um, it's not always easy for independent artists. Very, very rarely is easy for independent artists.
Right.
What does your current team look like?
Uh, right now it's so I mostly do you know mostly do all my booking and my own advertising, merchandise, and stuff like that. But like I, I wouldn't say necessarily team as more as a community of people that I can rely on. Like I've got a buddy of mine, Corey Godsey, who I text stupid stuff to. Like I'm like, hey man, what if I were to like get a hold of Dan Auerbach's like janitor at Easy Eye Studios and like give him a CD? You think he'd see Dan and give it to him, or like just stupid stuff like that, or like Tiffany Finley over at Master Musicians Festival? Like I'll ask her like industry questions and like I'll message Tim Parks every so often, and he doesn't message me back. But he's busy, and I understand that. But like, there's a Lance Rogers. I've texted Lance several times and asked him stuff like, and there's that whole community of people, musicians and otherwise, I rely on for some of the hard questions or some of the easy questions, or just to ask them, hey, is this stupid? Should I do this or not? Because
Just the
sometimes it sounds good
confirmation.
up here. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm. Well, they've been through it too, I'm sure.
exactly. And we all learn off each other, and that's just part of it.
Yeah, I don't know if every community, music community is like that or not. It's hard for me to say, but it seems like a lot of the Kentucky, that corner of the world anyway, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, a lot of those folks, there is a community
Yeah,
between the artist and the people involved in general. I'm sure there's always, turds, but it seems like the
those are
major.
from Ohio around here, so I don't know where they're from over in Tennessee, Memphis area, but probably don't say Arkansas. It's okay.
It's no, it just seems like it seems like everybody is kind of maybe because it's not easy
Right.
and they're
Well,
everybody like as long as you're going through it, then they don't mind giving you some pointers of what they dealt with or whatever. I don't know the answer to it, but it does
yeah.
seem that way.
It's a whole thing of like just Eastern Kentucky versus the world.
Hmm.
It's weird. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it's just the people around here. But in talking to you, and I've talked to others that aren't from around here or live here, and they tell me the same thing. No, man, it's not like that where I'm from or over here. It's no, there's nothing like this or like that. Like, and it kind of feels weird because it feels so normal. Like it's
Mm.
like I can go on a radio show with Matt Wigstrom in Lexington and shout out when he asked me a question for his podcast, and he's asking me, "Well, who's your dream collab?" And I say Nick Jamerson or Sunday Best, and then I can go from that and Nick Jamerson messaging me and saying, "Man, let's do it." Like that doesn't happen in a lot of places, and it's weird because it feels normal here. Like I can text all these people or just cold message them and be like, "Hey, you probably might know who I am, but can you help me with this? How did you get on this festival, or how did you do this, or how did you get a hold of this person?" Blah 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 blah, and they're not going to do the legwork for you, but they'll give you a phone number, they'll give you a contact to try to at least let you wade the water, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Well, we've had that. It seems like a lot of people will do in the Texas world have that. Well, not just the Texas world, because like Brent Cobb and Adam Hood and those guys too. But it seems like if you're putting in the work, um,
Yeah,
and not trying to take the easy way, then they'll then everybody's kind of pulling the same rope, or you know what I mean. They understand
yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
Um, and Nicholas and I'm relatively new to Nick and Sunday Best. I don't know, maybe a couple years ago I was listening to a lady on play music on TikTok, and she did Teardrop In, which I know that's a Tommy Webb song, but
yeah,
it led me to Sunday Best, and then I figured out, who Nicholas is and all that stuff. So,
yeah,
they currently get played. I'm not a like straight up bluegrass guy. My playlist goes all over the place, but Nick has definitely been somebody I've been listening to a lot lately, and really dig what he does with and without the Sunday Best thing. So,
yeah. He's definitely the goat among songwriters
mm,
here, Eastern Kentucky and around this area for sure,
it it
without a doubt, hands down.
it seems like. It seems like guys like Sturgill and Tyler, and again, I'm an outsider, but it seems like those guys knocked the door open back then, you know, and
Yeah,
now you got guys like Nick, wherever that's kind of that's not to compare him to Sturgill or Tyler, but that's the ones that people are looking up to, and
yeah,
that they put up there on that pedestal as being you know as good as
yeah,
they are.
yeah. And honestly, and I may be completely off base with this, but like it's almost backwards too. That like you've got like Chris Stapleton, kind of in a sense, kind of started a lot of that, but like Sunday Best was getting featured in Rolling Stone magazine like heck, I remember it's like 2013, 2014 before.
Mm.
Honestly, I think at Master Resistance Festival, Tyler Childers played, and several months before, and Sunday Best played and headlined, I think Friday night. And they were at the same time were getting featured in Rolling Stone magazine. While people look back and say, "Well, I wish I could afford Tyler Childers tickets." He played it here in Somerset, Kentucky, 10, 11 years ago. Yeah, at that time, Sunday Best was breaking a lot of those doors down, um, to where Rolling Stone or whoever starts paying attention to, well, what's going on in Eastern Kentucky? Well, who's Tyler Childers, like, or whatever, because they're from the north and all that.
No, I've heard that before a bunch. That is funny because that does happen quite a bit.
It does.
Which is, it's not that far off base, especially if you don't know who they are.
Oh
But
yeah,
still,
yeah. I'm from Monticello, Kentucky, and anytime I have to call somewhere, they'll be like, "Oh, give me your address again. Is that Monticello?" I'm like, "It is in Virginia, maybe, but not here."
yeah, that's. I'm laughing because yeah, my daughter has a friend, and I can't even say her name correctly because I say it wrong so much on purpose. But it's Michaela, but it's spelled like Muchala. So I'm
Yeah,
always, and she's, so I'm always messing with her about, hey, Muchala, uh, so now, yeah, so I can completely, but except for I do that as a goof, and then I do the goof so much I can't say it correct, but I still understand the point.
yeah,
Um, all right, we'll see. How far are we in? We'll go a little bit further.
yeah,
You mentioned that you were kind of you were involved in some of the festivals that are going on in your area.
yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm a board member of the Master Musicians Festival, have been since 2020. And so we are a nonprofit. Uh, all our money comes from sponsors, local sponsors, like as far, hopefully I don't get this wrong, but like no corporate sponsors, at least no, like not Coca
Understand?
Cola or nothing like that.
Right.
And we put on a festival in which we try to get uh, usually a pretty big name headliner that's going to draw a crowd from around here and 3-4 hours away or wherever, whether that's a blues traveler or we've had Grace Potter, Winona Judd. This year we had Jamie Johnson, and we do that to try to bring music to this area and this region, while at the same time being able to put artists like Cody Lee Meese or Hunter Flynn or local guys that we can put underneath those names, underneath Jamie Johnson,
Okay.
and kind of whether that's a stepping stone or whether that's just a good festival, who's to say? But that's what we try to do and try to curate a lineup that is going to have artists that might blow up next year or the year after. Like we on our second stage had the Creekers, biggest crowd I've seen on that stage since I've been there. We've had Nolene Hoffman last year, right before she announced that she was touring with Zach Bryan. Um, we try to, in the same essence of a lot of these festivals, a lot of these independent festivals, like I said, like Laurel Cove or Manchester, or any of them, we try to go out there, find artists that we're following, that we're happy with, that we want to listen to, and that we also believe in, are going to be able to take this next step. And whether they blow up, it's great. Whether they have a successful career and make $2,000 every week playing, and no one ever hears of them outside of this area, that's fine too. But we want to bring this music to people that don't normally listen to it, that might listen to terrestrial radio, and they might know who Zach Bryan or Tyler Childers is, but that's about as far as it goes. We want to put that bug in their ear and have something affordable that people can go to.
Man, that uh, I mean, not to compare this podcast to a festival, but the way you're just that's the way I think. Like asking. I mean, we've got a guy that we've had to reschedule 3 or 4 times because his original music hasn't come out yet. Like
Yeah,
something keeps happening and he keeps having to push it back. He doesn't have any Spotify listeners at this point, but he's good, and we
yeah,
can tell that he's good. And whenever he releases that single, we're pulling for him,
yeah,
But then again, if I can land, whoever Red Clay Strays, if I could talk to
yeah,
Sturgill, I mean, hell yeah, I'm going to. But I'm not going to stop doing the other ones because the same way what you're talking about. You know what I mean? But- like we talked about Bill Taylor. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And then look what's going on with him after the fact. You never know where all that's going to go, but
yeah,
um, I like showcasing. The same way what you were talking about. It's on a smaller scale, but I hope that you know if I share a Eric Church live video that that will also make them find the video I share of you.
right. Yeah, and that's the whole thing, is trying to get um, bigger names that will, someone's watching your podcast because you got someone that has a big name, and they watch the whole thing, and the next video goes to someone that might have 50 views or something
I
like
hope.
that, or
Yeah,
50 listeners on Spotify.
yeah. That's the whole. That's at the very beginning of this thing, we started talking to people that I met on TikTok, and they were still working the 40-hour job and weren't touring or doing shows, but just had original music.
Yeah,
And then for some odd reason, Adam Hood said yes on like episode 9, and that made it legitimate just because Adam came on, and I'll forever be grateful for that, and don't understand why he did, but I appreciate
Don't
that he
doesn't
did.
matter.
What's that?
I said doesn't matter as long as
No,
it
no,
does.
no, no, no. And he's been cool even after the he didn't run away after that. So, but let's speaking of showcasing some music, let's get you to play one and tell us about the song.
Yeah, so this is a song I'll have coming out at the end of August. I haven't narrowed down the date, but getting close. You know how that goes. And it's called Trouble. And mostly I wrote it just from seeing different people get in trouble, not necessarily anything that I've done or expect to do, but like it kind of evolved into this whole like, what if trouble's like this thing that's out there to get you? That's just waiting for you to just like kind of just like f up and just stumble for a minute, uh, and kind of just took it on from there and made it something that's hopefully halfway listenable. You'll have to excuse the fact all it's clanking and all this in this truck. It's a
That's that's what we do around here, right? You got to
yeah,
make it
man. You
happen however you can make it happen.
got to make it work.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. Oh, trouble, 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 you leave me alone. You've been busy shooting doubles in the summer, stay back home. You thought it'd be a good time just hanging around. Last call with the boys, burn it down, but we're both in deep waters. And it's plain to see. Another late night, I sing in the blues, playing for my supper, feeling stupid and used. The trouble, 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 how you bring a smile to my face. Oh, trouble, 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 you leave me alone. You've been busy shooting doubles in a summer stay, babe. Oh, trouble, 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 stay off my mind. You're just full of bad ideas, and I'm starting to run out of time. Messing up is in your blood. And doesn't matter, run out of luck. Trouble now. Oh, what should I do? Getting haunted by you. Trouble, I'm feeling kind of stuck. I'm just tired of messing up. And if you could only see, I am slowly killing me. Oh, trouble, 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 won't you leave me alone? You've been busy shooting doubles in the summer, stay, babe. Oh, trouble, 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 stay on my mind. You're just full of bad ideas, and I'm starting to run out of time. I said you're full of bad ideas, and I'm slowly starting to lose my mind. I said you're full of bad ideas, and the thought of you is haunting me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good stuff.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So that's there's a good chance that's coming out late August.
That's the hope. Right now, I'm just trying to narrow down art to try to put on it, which is again, goes back to that business side of it. I wish I could just release it, but like I've got something in mind, but I just haven't had time to get it done. And the hope is I'll get it done soon so I can put it on Spotify and try to get on editorial and blah blah blah, all that stuff. Gotta love it.
So, I mean, that's one of the things I'm sure that people are listening to this and they think of, okay, so you have to write the song and then you
Yeah.
gotta, or, the music, words, whatever comes first, and then you get it recorded. They're probably not even thinking about that side of that world, as far as
Yeah,
even,
it's
I mean, it's not just album art, that's single art. So that means you got to do it
every time.
again.
Yeah, and try to come up with a concept that fits the song, or at least makes the listener feel a certain way, that it's part of the song somehow, or makes them think of the song in a whole different light. Um,
That's just what you. I mean, I mean, you could just put your face on the single
yeah,
and let it roll, but that's something that you want to do.
yeah, and that's, I mean, yeah, I could, and honestly, the way it's probably looking, it's probably gonna be all this right here, which is that song's gonna flop bigger than crap. But if I do, it
Don't
might be
hold
a
it
picture
against
from this
him. Listen to
podcast,
the
man.
song.
You might talk me into it. I may just take a screenshot here in a minute and just like, this is what we're gonna roll with. Be
Just
like, this dude messed this up.
yeah. Maybe just get one in, the picture in your truck. Uh,
Yeah, that's a good idea. They'll be like, yeah, this he's driving a Chevrolet. It's definitely, I could
it's,
see why he's writing a song about trouble, because
there's trouble coming.
he's
Uh,
pushing that thing for sure.
so, but there's going to be another single coming out not too long in the future too, right?
Yeah, I've got to get back in the studio and work on it a little bit. Been recording it at Mill Springs Studio in Nancy, Kentucky, and I've got to get in and finish some guitar parts and the vocals and tighten all that up. And hoping to have it out probably late September. It's you know a lot of stuff looks really polished, and this is for everybody listening. Like, a lot of stuff looks pretty polished online, and a lot of these bands have got management and they've got labels and all this stuff, but it's just people like me, and they don't know when they're going to release it either. And it looks like they've got it all together, but I guarantee you they don't. They really don't.
They're hoping for like a certain time of year
Yeah,
or a certain playlist to pick it up or
yeah.
just
They're hoping that, like,
like
the
there's
Rolling
no real
Stones
right
don't put
answer.
out.
They're just hoping that they make the right decisions.
Right, yeah. It's like movies are the same way. Like, they're just hoping the Rolling Stones don't release like their 33rd album or something that same day or week. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah,
I understand. I understand. Um, yeah, I wish it wasn't that much of a. I'm curious about that sometimes, like because I would bet there's a give and take. Say like if you were releasing that song this coming Friday, and then say just to name someone that we talked about, say like the Creekers released a song
yeah,
Friday as well. Sometimes I bet that sometimes it would feel like it that may hurt your release, but then also I wonder how many times when they go to that release radar on Spotify or whatever, and they listen to the Creekers,
yeah.
if yours is going to be on that list behind it. I wonder how much it hurts or helps. You know what I
It,
mean?
it's there's no way of knowing. Like, it's all a
Hmm.
guessing game, because, like, yeah. I mean, and a lot of these people talk, and I'm sure that some of them, like, try not to release stuff at the same time, but for the most part, they're not as big as, like, like the Black Keys or like Red Clay Strays or nothing like that. So they're just throwing a dart at a calendar and saying 4 weeks from now we're releasing this, and someone else might release something good at the same time. Whether that'll help you, whether that'll hurt you, and honestly, it probably, at the place that a lot of us are at, it'll probably help, because, like you said, like, the Creekers release something somewhere in the algorithm. I hope, nobody knows how the algorithm works, but somewhere on how it
I can't
works,
even
it's,
spell algorithm.
well, listen, I'm not gonna try. I went to the county school, so, like, but
Same,
like, but
same.
the algorithm's picking up where this music's coming from and where the listeners are coming from,
Mm.
and so somewhere or another, it's putting together, hey, this sounds similar to that, and same listeners from the same area. Well, let's throw this Spooky Fox song on there and have them hit skip 3 seconds in. or whatever it might be. Just be like, man, that dude's got a
Maybe they run
screenshot
out
of
of
it.
skips on Pandora. You know what I mean? Maybe they have to listen at that point. You know, they've maxed out their three per hour or whatever
I
it
was
is. I
about to
don't
say,
remember, but
they're cheap like me and don't pay for the subscription. They're like,
right,
I
right.
hate this.
Yeah, yeah,
Turn it off, but I can't.
yeah. Turn it down for 3 minutes. Um, well, given the amount of time you've been into this thing, have you found yourself in any positions as far as being around anybody or a certain venue or a certain situation where you just kind of look around and you're like, you seem like a pretty humble guy. So have you seen, looked around and be like, how the hell did I get in this room or on this lineup or this meet this person or whatever the case would be?
Buddy, you're talking to the wrong person. Because I'll
Okay.
tell you, that's every time I'm somewhere.
Okay. Fair.
I'm at Manchester Music Festival, and I'm like, why the hell am I playing next to Bill Taylor? Like, why is A Partridge on here? Like, and I'm on here. Like, but that's happened a lot. I'll tell you, probably probably the time where I was sitting in a room, and I'll kind of just start the story from the beginning. So I get this random message. I had been on the Jerry Springer podcast back in, I think it was 2022, I'm pretty sure. And so that was weird because the whole experience was trying to get on the podcast, seeing a lot of people that I know, like Eric Boland or Nick Jamerson, or I think even Lance Rogers was on it at some point in time, Corduroy Brown, just like a lot of people that had been on this podcast and trying to get on it and then getting on it. And this is kind of a two part. This is probably a drawn out story. I'll try to make it short. So I was supposed to be on this podcast. They rescheduled me twice, and then finally comes the day. It was like a Monday or something weird. And like that Saturday, I get an email from which the guy here's another tip for tat. The guy sending this email that's running the production side of the Jerry Springer podcast is Casey Campbell from Buffalo Wobs, and also like every Tyler Childers video ever made. He usually gets shot or killed one, but um, so he's emailing me and he says, "Hey, Jerry's going to be in town, and in town means where they do the podcast in Cincinnati." He said, "Would you want to come in live?" Because they hadn't been doing a live studio version of it since the pandemic, and they were doing it over Zoom. And I was like, "Hell yeah, man, I'll be there." So like on a Monday, random Monday night, I drive up there and get set up with my guitar, and I'm supposed to play one song. They're filming two shows all in an hour, and so I'm standing there with my guitar, like ready to go, and in walks Jerry Springer. I'm like, man, that is so cool. And then like it's one of those moments where I'm like, I'm in the same room with Jerry Springer, and he's just like, oh, it's a cool guitar. I like your guitar, and like just talking like a normal person. I'm like, I grew up watching this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But where I really felt weird and felt like, man, I'm at a place like I shouldn't be here, was several months after I did that podcast. Uh, Jerry passed away. I think it was January of 23. And and I'd heard about it, kind of knew about it. Well, about February of 23, I get a random, I can't remember if I got a text. I'm pretty sure I got a text or a message, one on my page. I can't remember which one. And it was the guy he did the podcast with, and his name escapes me right now. But he said, "Hey, we're doing celebration of life for Jerry. Can you call me?" And I'm like, "This is a prank. This is like somebody in South Africa trying to get my credit card number.
Right, right, right.
I'm in debt. They're gonna have a good laugh when they find out I'm worth nothing."
Trying to speak to you about your extended warranty.
Yeah, my extended warranty on my car that's 30 years old. But I'm like, all right, I'll call him, and called him and talked to him, and he's legit. And he's like, we're having a celebration of life. I forget what theater it was, a fancy like downtown Cincinnati theater. And he said, I want to have you come in and do a couple songs. Would you be willing to do that? I was like, you want me to come in and play on the stage for people for a celebration of life for Jerry Springer? I'm like, are you sure you got a hold of the right person? I'm sure. I'm like, this dude is high. He's got to be. and which that's around the time they legalized marijuana in Ohio. So I was like, this dude's definitely
Okay.
high. But so like the day comes, and I think I had a trip to Red River Gorge out here in Eastern Kentucky planned for the same day, and so this was early in the morning. So like I took the wife, took the kids, I took one of the dogs. We got it boarded for like 3 hours in Cincinnati because we were taking the dog on the trip, but obviously couldn't take it to a theater. So that's a whole. I could sit here and talk forever on it, but we get to this theater, and in walks in Casey Campbell. Okay,
Mhm.
Willie T. Taylor, Cordero Brown, Justin Wells, Eric Bolander, Jordan Smart. Um, I'm trying to remember. There was a couple others, and I'm just looking around. I'm like, why am I here? Like, why am I here? Like, this doesn't make any sense. But somehow or another, I ended up there, and we went through a couple songs together. Got on that stage. Casey Campbell kind of led it and said, "Here's what we're gonna do. Everybody gets this, blah blah blah." And then we prepped up, went back down to this room, and all hung out. And I'm sitting there hanging out with these guys and like and gals, and I'm thinking, I'm like, why am I here? Like, this was on a random. Like 2 weeks ago, this dude got hold of me. I'm still thinking he got hold of the wrong person. And then
Mhm.
we go and do the thing for real in front of all these people that are there to mourn Jerry Springer, who used for about a year and a half, 2 years, was mayor of Cincinnati. And I'm still thinking, I'm like, why am I here? Like, I'm looking up at this basic and not sold out, but like every seat's filled, and I'm like, huh, this guy who was lifelong friends with Jerry Springer and was his co-host on his podcast, and probably like I was saying earlier, I get a hold of a buddy of mine, Corey Godsey. Like, this is the guy that Jerry was getting hold of and being like, you think we should have midgets that have cheated on their interracial spouse? You know, like,
Right, right,
this
right.
is the idea guy he's probably running through. And this guy thought that Spooky Fox guy was good enough. I should have him come do a celebration of life for my friend. And that was one time where I was like, if I don't do anything else, this was worth doing what I do.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, man, this is a great story. I'm
Thank
happy.
you.
I mean, not happy that you had to play a celebration of life, but happy that you got in thought of to come and do that.
Yeah,
That's I've done one of those for a friend of mine that her husband passed away with cancer, and
yeah,
um, that's a odd thing to do, especially when it's somebody that you know.
yeah,
But also very flattering
yeah,
because it's not a party, it's not a smoky bar, it's not a festival.
yeah,
It's me and my husband really like what you do. We would appreciate if you come and play a couple songs.
yeah.
The question was, how much would you charge? And I'm like, I'll I'll I'll
Usually nothing.
I'll see you there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that
yeah,
was one of those things. I think I was more nervous doing that than I was, especially knowing the people that than anything else.
yeah. It's one of the most nerve wracking things you can do because like it's um you don't get to do another one. I guess I played a retirement party the other day as a private event. I guess technically they won't do another one of those, but this is a little bit, a little heavier and a little more different.
Well, before we get to your retirement, we'll kind of start to put a bow on this thing and
Yeah,
get
man.
get some rapid fire questions going.
Let's
Is
do
there
it.
anything else that's kind of going on that we need to make sure we hit on? You got the couple singles coming out, one late August, one possibly September,
Yeah.
um, and then we
Playing
are
Manchester
mentioned.
Music Festival the 29th of this month, 3:30. Uh, that's gonna be a lot of fun. That's one I've been wanting to do for a while.
Man, I really want I really want to go up there, but I don't think
Me
I can.
too.
I don't think I can. We'll see. We'll see
It's
how
it's only
bad it
like
is when I get
seven
back
and
home.
a half hour drive. It's not.
But that's not the problem. The problem is I'm going to be gone the week before also.
Yeah, yeah. That's a lot of
Yeah,
traveling, man.
yeah. We're going to Waco the weekend before for
Yeah,
Ragweed Turnpike and that whole bunch, and that's about an 8.5 hour drive there. and
Yeah.
then back, and then that trip's gonna be I got my dad and siblings all live in East Texas, so we're
Okay.
making more of that trip than just the concert, but still, I'm hoping to meet a lot of folks that I know from online that I haven't got to meet in person yet.
Yeah.
Even not just artists, but just people in general. You know, the community gets kind of small once you start, meeting people online.
Yeah.
And I went from not knowing anybody, so it's been really cool to get to meet a lot of the artists, but also um, the people that support that music too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. That I'm sure you'll see a lot of those at just about every one of those festivals we talked about tonight, which is awesome.
Yeah. Usually the same ones.
That's I mean, hey, there's a lot of people that are able to make a living playing music because of that that group of people, and even if it's Kentucky folks, Florida folks, whatever the case would be, there's still a lot of people that get that appreciate all those pockets of independent music supporters. So
Yeah. I think I saw like it was, I don't know if it was a meme or just like a short video. There was a guy that said, he said, if you're an independent musician and you've got about 1,000 people that are willing to give you over the course of a year $100, like whether they buy T-shirts, music, whatever it might be, like you're making 100 grand a year. So
hmm,
like 1,000 people sounds like a lot, but not really once you think about it. And some of these people are probably doing that.
that's yeah. I mean, it's I guess you would say it's a obtainable short term goal to or
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like it's way too far to try to hit towards that direction. So
yeah,
that's a good way to put that. I'm sure a lot of people would like to hear that to to have that goal to shoot for.
yeah.
Well, all right. Well, we'll get into some quick rapid fire questions. All right. This one I dove way back in the list for this one. This was way back in the single digit episodes with Matt Willis and Go Red on the throwback episode. So, when you were getting off the school bus or a Saturday morning, what
Yeah.
was it? What was a go-to cartoon?
Oh man. Uh,
Not to put an age on you,
yeah, I was about to say. Let me think. Really,
We've
let me
avoided
think
it this
here.
whole time. Finally got him.
Oh man.
That's
Well, when I was very 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 small, I'm not gonna say how old, but usually Power Rangers, man. Like when I got off the school bus,
okay.
I think they was still playing in the afternoon sometimes, like reruns and stuff. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, not
That's
none of
a,
that stupid stuff afterward, the dinosaurs and the
that's
space and the no, I'm talking about the OG Mighty Morphin, like
it it
yeah,
is
yes,
funny. I agree with you, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah.
But for us to say not the stupid stuff when what we were watching was pretty crazy too.
Oh
So
yeah, listen, I've got my oldest boy like really into it, and so like I'm having to rewatch it, and I'm like,
this
what
doesn't
is it?
hold
What
up
does the
near as
kids say
well as I
nowadays?
thought.
Like it's so cringe, but like at the same time, like I still enjoy it, but I'm thinking like, how did I not know like the Yellow Ranger's a dude when they're fighting? Like that's clearly a dude. Like this was made
and
somewhere else for the fighting, but I had to look it up, and I was like, what?
as far as all the fighting scenes,
Yeah, yeah, they were
yeah,
made in Japan.
right. Okay,
Yeah, it's
that
crazy.
makes sense. Makes sense. All right. If you were stranded on a desert island or a tropical island, whatever, it doesn't have to be a desert island. What would be your tropical island album?
Oh
The
man.
one album you could have.
Oh geez. Okay. Uh, is this like a castaway situation, or like eventually I'm gonna get rescued, or is this
Mm,
like there's no hope?
mm, it's unknown. You don't know.
Okay. Okay. Uh, geez. I want to have to go probably with either Cage the Elephant's first album or yeah, I would have to say Led Zeppelin 4.
Okay.
Three's a
Hey,
little bluegrassy for Tropical Island. That or any Jimmy Buffett album would probably do just fine. Like if I could choose, if I could really choose, probably like a Jimmy Buffett like
just
greatest
so it
hits.
would fit the scenery.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I feel like I did this on purpose. Like I didn't just like, take a wrong turn in Albuquerque somewhere or something.
I got you. I got you. All right. When I say sad song, what is the first song that comes to mind?
Ah, trying to think here. Um,
I know it's 9 o'clock. The comes to mind doesn't come to
yeah,
mind as quick.
yeah, man. In Color by Jamie Johnson. Um,
Okay.
not necessarily a sad song, but it's like it's something that'll
It hits
it's a
home.
tearjerker.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh, man.
We talk. I talk. I say we. I talk about this all the time. That songs that I watch people slow dance to that aren't love
Yeah.
songs, which that In Color kind of is, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, I've seen, like Don't Close Your Eyes is a big one, right? You
Yeah.
play
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't Close Your Eyes, dance floor is full, but it's a Please Don't Cheat on Me song,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're like looking up at each other. You know what I mean? Slow dancing. And I'm
I'll
like,
tell you. I'll tell
and
you.
Turn the Page is another one that
Yeah.
people
Turn the
slow
Page is
dance
kind of
to.
a yeah. It's kind of a downer. I'll tell you. Awkwardness. I played a wedding one time, and they asked me to play. They asked me to learn a song for the father daughter dance.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, I got this. I learned it. I can't remember what song it was, but I played it, got through it. I'm like, hell yeah, I did it. I was really concerned with it because they were paying me a lot. And it, like we were talking earlier, it's one of those important things that you do. And like
Hmm.
it's more nerve wracking than playing at a bar. And I get done with that, and then the MC says, "All right, now time for the mother son dance." And I'm like, this wasn't in the emails. And all I could think of playing, because this is a classy joint, I can't play Sturgill or something. I'm like, let's play some Al Green, and the only Al Green song that came to mind, because this guy says this, and they're expecting me to play a song like a Spotify playlist or something. All I could think of playing was "Let's Stay Together." I can talk about awkward, like this is his son and his mom, and I'm like,
In Arkansas.
yeah, hey, Parks of Kentucky too, man. It's only 2025. But anyways,
Fair enough.
um,
Fair enough. The internet dating world is still still possibly the family reunion, right? So, all right. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, musical or otherwise, living or dead, who would it be?
I would probably have to say musical, probably Jimi Hendrix, just because
Okay,
that would be cool. That'd be cool.
definitely.
Um, uh, yeah, yeah,
A
I'm gonna have to go with that.
wide range of stories for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Historical or just otherwise, probably like Teddy Roosevelt. He's like he was like he's my favorite president, and just overall American historical figure. Dude was a cool dude.
All right. So if y'all don't follow Spooky Fox on all the socials, please make sure you go do. If you don't, and follow on wherever you stream or steal your music from. Hit that hit that follow
Steal
button. It doesn't cost
steal
anything
all
to
my
follow.
music.
What's that?
I said steal all my music, people, please.
Exactly. And whenever artists make posts about, they got new songs coming up, whatever, we all know that most artists don't like to do social media. So try to engage with their posts, share them, make them, let them know that you appreciate the effort that they put into those things, because most of them can't stand doing it, because they think it's going to flop and doesn't get much traction, because that's half the way, that's the way the world goes these days. So let them know that you saw it. Share it with your music loving friends and all that kind of stuff when he has new music come out. When you're listening to the Creekers song and then you hear Spooky Fox, share it with your friends that like the
Please don't
Creekers.
skip.
Yeah, don't hit the save your skips.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, don't skip. Um, all right, so the most important question. Well, I
Okay.
thought about retiring this question, but we're gonna still roll with it because you're in Eastern Kentucky, and I know this is prevalent over there. So, um, Spooky, what
It's still legal if it's your second cousin. That's what you're. Oh no, you weren't gonna ask that.
I got some hot cousins too.
Jesus.
What is your favorite Little Debbie snack?
Zebra cakes, man.
Okay,
See, gotta be.
That's a very very popular answer.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, man, it was good to have you on here. We've been following each other for a little bit on the socials and everything. So glad the time finally came. I'll get this thing, get your the song you performed in the middle trouble, and get that going, and maybe help promote that coming up. And
Yeah.
yeah, y'all go follow Spooky wherever you can follow stuff, and help these guys out. Share all the stuff, and spread the word. I mean, that's the whole point of this podcast. Other folks might not have a podcast, but you got a social media platform, and it helps more than you probably realize.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. All right, man.
Absolutely.
Well, good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. It's been fun. Thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
having me.
Mhm.